Hello friends, in this session of comprehensive financial modeling, we will learn few Excel functions like NPV and IRR. NPV stands for net present value and IRR for internal rate of return. Both these functions are used mainly into project financing decisions. Project financing decisions you call it, or capital budgeting decisions you call it. Now, before going for understanding these functions or use of these functions, it is necessary to understand what is project financing or capital budgeting and what does basically NPV and IRR mean. But for that we will try to understand from the base, from the start, from the definition of corporate finance, because these are closely related to each other. What is corporate finance? Now those who are not from finance background, they might not be knowing the definition and the concepts of corporate finance. We will try to elaborate few of them in this session and then go ahead with the use of functions in Excel. Corporate finance basically deals with the decisions in the organization. Now, in any organization you see there are a lots of decisions made, and most of the decisions made in the organization have the financial implication on it. So all those decisions which have a financial implication on the organization are called as corporate finance decisions. These decisions can be many and can be related to many things. But for a better understanding, they are classified into these three parts: investment decisions, financing decisions, and dividend decisions. Now, what are these three types, or what do they mean, and what kind of decisions are covered here or into it? Now, when you are talking about an organization, the organization needs to have certain assets, investment into assets, be it long-term assets like non-current assets, land, building, machinery, and so on, or it can be short-term assets as well. Short-term assets means, in financial language or accounting language, they are called as current assets. Current assets means the assets which get converted into money within a period of one operating cycle, or a shorter period of time rather. For example, inventory is there, debtors are there, and so on. So whenever organization is into operations, it needs money to be invested into these segments, and investing money into these segments is called as investment decisions. There are a lot of decisions that the organization has to take in relation to investing into these non-current assets or current assets. Non-current assets decisions are classified into project financing decisions, and current asset decisions are classified into working capital decisions. Now, what kind of a study, or what kind of a process the organization follows when it is taking project financing decisions? If the organization, say for example, has to buy an asset or replace an old asset with a new asset, definitely it will have to do its technical feasibility study, that what kind of a technology the machinery should have. Do the organization has the capacity or people to handle that technology? What kind of a production capacity the machinery should have? And based on that, what will be the cost of the product that it will produce? There are other feasibility studies as well that the organization does before reaching the financial part of it. Like there is a marketing feasibility study, there is an environmental feasibility study, and so on. Now, after doing all this, like how much product the machinery can produce, and technically it is feasible to run that machinery in the organization or not, environmentally it is good or falls under the laws and norms of the environmental acts or not. You reach to, you can say, or you can say you select only few of the machineries which follow all these conditions, and then comes the financing decision. Now, of the available options, which machinery you would like to select? If, say for example, there are three machineries which follow all the criterias or the conditions that you put in related to all other feasibility studies, then comes the financing part. So is it that you simply select a machinery with lowest of the purchasing cost, or are there other parameters? Definitely there are other parameters as well, which we try to cover under project financing studies. Project financing studies, now as I said, it is investment into the own organization, into its assets. It is called as either project financing decisions or capital budgeting decisions. I'll correct it. It's not only into its assets, but I will say non-current or long-term assets. Now what these methods are, we will see it, and then we will move to other decisions in short. Now the criteria or the base on which you select a particular machinery, the financial basis, are, or they depend on the capital budgeting decisions. There are certain tools like under capital budgeting models which help us take the decision and give us a solution or suggestion regarding whether the machinery should be chosen or not. Now the first most method that is used is a payback method. What is a payback method? As the name suggests, the time period in which you will get back your investment, the machinery will pay back your investment into the machinery, is called as payback period. And under payback method, you try to find out the period in which you get back your investment into the machinery that you have, that you select or that you intend to buy. And the ultimate conclusion by using this method is simply the machinery with the lowest payback period shall be selected. Why? Because the earlier you get back your money, more are the chances of making profit after that, because you make profit only after recovering your cost. So the lower the payback period, better is the machinery. But there are certain limitations of this particular method. This method does not consider time value of money. If you have seen our previous video, we have studied about time value of money. Now how does it not consider time value of money? Now capital budgeting decisions or project financing decisions are of the nature where the cash flows are not only in one particular year but for many years. And when there is a long-term investment involved, definitely the time will have an impact on the value of money, which is not considered in payback method. But then how it is calculated, we will see it in certain time. Before that, we'll just get introduced to two other methods that we are going to study. The second method that we are going to study is net present value or discounted cash flow method. Now, it is popularly known as discounted cash flow method. Now, what does it do? Under this method, you calculate the present value of the inflows that you are going to have from the asset when you start using the particular asset or machinery. Obviously, when you buy a machinery, you start using the machinery from the immediate next period or maybe after making it operational. Your investment into the machinery is in the year 0 or period 0, which is an outflow, and the inflows from the machinery continue to come for rest of the few years depending on the life of the machinery. So in this case what you try to do is you try to compare the inflows that you are going to get from the machinery with the outflow, that is the cost that you have incurred while acquiring or purchasing that machinery, and then make a decision whether the particular machinery should be selected or not. The third method that we are going to consider or study is internal rate of return. Now this method is an extension of, you can say, net present value. Now net present value gives you answer in absolute terms, and internal rate of return tries to give you answer in terms of percentage. What is internal rate of return? It is the rate of return at which the machinery breaks even, means it achieves the break even point. What does it mean? It simply means the rate of return at which the present value of outflows is equivalent to present value of inflows. That percentage or rate of return is called as internal rate of return, which works as a benchmark for the organization. As to the organization will select only a machinery whose internal rate of whose returns are above this internal rate of return, so that the net present value becomes positive. Why? Because at internal rate of return, as we said, the net present value of outflows is equivalent to net present value of inflows, means the net present value actually is 0. So that's why internal rate of return works as a benchmark wherein the net present value is positive only. So it helps us take the decision by comparing into two machineries. Yes, there can be situations where the NPV and IRR give different results. Very rarely it happens, but it may happen. In those cases, you should go for net present value because it gives the answer in absolute terms, in terms of how much rupees you are going to earn from the operationalization of the machinery, and not only in terms of percentage. Percentages sometimes can be misleading. So, in times of confusion between percentage and absolute answer, one should go for the absolute terms answer. This is just an intro. I know it is very difficult for a non-finance person to understand from this only. That is why we are going to study this with the help of a case study. All these three methods we will try to study with the help of a case, a small caselet. But before that, let us go through the other two decisions of financing decisions, because we are going to study some part of it later on, specifically financing decisions. Now, what is financing decisions? It simply means procuring funds for the assets for investing into the organization. Now, we have seen just now that for where do you invest into the organization? Into its own organization, into assets of the organization. Now, from where you mobilize this money? There are various sources of finance for the organization. It can be the organization's own equity, you can say, means you can say either a promoter's contribution or the owner's contribution into the organization, which is called as equity. It can be the savings of the own organization that you save from the previous year's profits, which are called as reserves and surplus. Or you can borrow the money from outside. Outside means maybe from the bank or financial institution. So basically, the sources of money can be your own money in the form of equity and reserves, or it can be the outside, or you can say borrowed money, which is also called as debt, popularly known as debt. Now onwards we will use the words like equity and debt only, not owner's money and not the owner's money and borrowed money, but equity and debt. Now when you talk about equity or debt, it is comparatively easier to understand with the help of debt examples, so I'll continue with that. When you borrow this money from the outside, this money does not come free of cost. You have to incur certain cost to get this money. Now when you are borrowing money from the outside, or you are taking a debt, means what? You are taking a loan from outside. It does not come free of cost. Most of the times you have to give return in the form of interest on it. Now this interest is nothing but the cost associated with this debt. Now when the organization wants to borrow money, it will have to check that the cost that it is incurring to borrow the money, and then the rate of return the particular asset is going to generate should always be higher than this cost. Then only the organization will end up in making profits. If this is not compared properly, the organization can go into losses. So it is necessary to calculate this cost. Now in the case of debt, as we said, it is pretty easy because the interest rates are given by the banks. But when you are taking a loan, it comes with a tax benefit. How does this tax benefit help you? We will see it later on when we learn how to calculate the cost of debt. But comparatively, it is easier to calculate the cost of it. There is cost of equity as well. Cost of equity simply means the returns that the owner of the equity expects. Now the owner of the equity can be the promoter or can be the shareholder. If it is like general equity, you have shareholders all over the country if it is a publicly listed company. So in that case, how much returns the equity shareholders are expecting from the particular shares depends the cost of equity, and based on this cost of equity and cost of debt, you can calculate the overall cost of the total finances of the organization, which is known as WACC, or also known as weighted average cost of capital. The third decision that the organization has to take is dividend decisions. Now when the organization buys the asset with the help of financing it has done, obviously it is done to earn profits, and when the profits are earned by the organization, how to utilize those profits is again a decision to be made in the organization. Now when a profit is made, definitely equity shareholders might expect the returns to be shared with them depending on the growth of the organization. If the organization is a growing organization where the growth rate is comparatively higher than that of the market growth rate, the dividend expected can be lesser, and when the organization is not so growing organization, the dividend expected can be much higher. So how much of the profit should be distributed with the equity shareholders is a decision which also affects the value of the organization. There are lots of cases or examples that you can see or study related to dividend decision, that how the organizations use dividend decisions to control the value of the organizations, or even in many other cases. Not only controlling the value of the organization, but many other decisions, this dividend decision becomes useful. So this turns out to be the third important decision. There is one more decision which is part of investment decision, that is working capital decision, which relates with the working capital of the organization, but we will study some part of it under ratio analysis. As of now, we will only study the meaning of corporate finance and what does project financing basically means. And for a better understanding, we will try to study a small case in the upcoming sessions.